Soccer fans, good evening and welcome into Rio Tinto Stadium in Salt Lake City, Utah. Tonight it's USL Soccer midweek, a day after the 4th of July celebrations all over our nation. Tonight we've got soccer and the hottest team in the USL, though they've cooled down just a touch the last couple of weeks. The Rio Monarchs, they'll host Oklahoma City here tonight. Bill Riley, Taryn Meyer, and of course Landon Southwick here today. As we get ready for this one, Landon, this is a hot team in Salt Lake coming in. Not as hot as they were, but still very, very much in first place in the West.
For the first time all season long, they were held scoreless in Tulsa, a 2-0 loss, and coming off a situation where they really didn't look super comfortable.
Let's go to the field now for our national anthem. Some more thoughts on the game coming up after.
As they perform our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you.
Back at Rio Tinto Stadium, those were the Holiday Hoppers with tonight's national anthem here at Rio Tinto Stadium. We'll let my man Landon Southwick finish his thoughts on the home side tonight. Cooled off a touch, but still one of the best teams over the last couple of months, and certainly the best record right now and points-wise in all of the USL and in the West. What are your thoughts on this team coming in tonight, Landon?
You know, they're 12-1-2 on the season, 37 points, still 2 points clear of San Antonio, riding an 8-game home winning streak, one of the best in USL history. And have a chance tonight to get back in their winning ways against an Energy team that really isn't the greatest team, but is still a team that's capable of bringing some punch tonight.
All right, Taryn, a little thought on this Oklahoma City team coming in. They're below the playoff mark right now. They're kind of in the middle of the pack of the teams not in the playoff picture right now. What should we expect from Oklahoma City as they come in here tonight?
No, Bill, Oklahoma City comes in probably feeling a little bit hard done in Vancouver. They gave up 2 soft goals on set pieces. They lose 2 leads. They really played well. They were dangerous on the wings. And like you said, they're below the playoff line. I think they're looking to really make an impact tonight here at arguably the toughest venue to play here in the USL.
Well, they've been very good here at home tonight. Couple of quick looks at the lineup tonight. First for the home side. And Mark Briggs' squad coming in very, very well right now. Sparrow in goal, Karinga, Moberg, Schmidt, and Pay across the back. Beasler, Hanlon, and Brody in the midfield. Minter, Hernandez, and Haber up top tonight. For the home side, who will be wearing white here this evening on a hot night in Salt Lake City. Temperatures in the upper 90s as we get ready to go here tonight. On the other side for Oklahoma City, Lorendi in goal tonight. Highland, Harris, Andrews, and Wallace across the back. Guzman, Bond, Barrel, Dixon, and Gonzalez in the midfield, and Craven wearing 99 tonight as your lone striker up top for Oklahoma City. Mentioned hot temperature, should be no real surprise for Oklahoma City coming in here. Oklahoma City in the middle of summertime can be very hot as well. The good news is the sun's setting to the west here tonight in Salt Lake City, so you'll have very little sunshine on the pitch, and the players in the shade mostly here this evening. The home side in white, road team in their blue and green kits here this evening in Salt Lake City, and what should be a good matchup. And of course, you know, trying to achieve a little hardware here, trying to make that push for the best record in the USL, trying to do something. And we've said this all year on the broadcast here in Salt Lake. Such a departure from the first couple of years for the Rio Monarchs. Such a different team, more veterans. Certainly the firepower is unparalleled in the first few seasons.
And really the difference here is this team has the veterans like we've talked about as well as the youth. And tonight you're seeing a little bit of a different starting 11. Few injury bugs playing around the team. You're not seeing Charlie Adams, Sebastian Velasquez, some of the engines right up the middle, and Chandler Hoffman. But you've got a guy like Jose Hernandez getting time down from the first team and getting a shot tonight.
Well, if tonight's effort by the USL side's anything like last night's effort by the senior side, we should have some fireworks post 4th of July, and we're underway here tonight. Oklahoma City moving right to left across your screen. The home side, the Monarchs, moving left to right in white here this evening. The only sliver of sun on the far sideline, and that's where OKC is right now. They play it in back. And all the way back it comes to Lorendi, the keeper. Left-footed ball up the near sideline. Karinga watches it go over his head and out of bounds into the Monarchs bench. It'll be a throw-in for Salt Lake. Karinga ahead, settled there. Played back by Haber. Center circle, Beasler wears the captain's armband. Back to Taylor Pay.
Keep an eye on number 99, Craven, up top for Oklahoma City. He's their leading goal scorer this year, 4 goals through 8 appearances. He's always dangerous, and I know some people may not like this comparison, but I liken him to a Chandler Hoffman. He opens up space really well, puts himself in decent positions into the box.
Here's a ball in front, a beautiful cross off the bar. And the flag was up anyway. It wouldn't have counted, but a pretty ball in from that far sideline. And the Monarchs threaten early. Free kick coming out of the back for Oklahoma City.
The interesting thing is Haber's normally the one providing the service in those situations to Hoffman. Tonight he finds himself at the point of the attack tonight for the Monarchs, and he found himself in a position just outside the PK spot trying to put that one on goal.
Lorendi puts it back in play, high and long up the far sideline, sent back the other way by Schmidt. Whistle and a foul. Our referee tonight, Michael Radchuk. Amid Sedgati, our 4th official at the halfway line. Brody, too far there for the on-rushing Karinga. Karinga really got forward on that play. He'll hustle back right now. The Monarchs are in essence playing 3 in the back. Karinga gets back. Battle far sideline. Top of the box behind Hernandez. Jose settles. Back and wide. Left-footed ball into the box through the 6. And trickles out for a goal kick. Pretty good thought that time. Brody tried to free himself, couldn't find that ball.
You're seeing what the Monarchs are going to bring here early on in this game, attacking from the width. You've seen multiple crosses come in from Minter, and that's going to be the style that the Monarchs are going to go with tonight, with Brody and Minter running those wings.
And it's as they should. It's a wide field. Teams coming here to play in the altitude, especially a team like the Energy, really spread Oklahoma City and make them chase the game, especially early on.
Dixon wins that ball for OKC. Center circle Guzman. He can't control. One back by Hernandez. Jose lofts a ball forward. Brody gets on the end. Flag stays down, but his touch eludes him, and the keeper finds it top of the 18.
Not a bad-looking ball at all from Jose Hernandez. Chipped it in perfectly with enough flight. Brody just couldn't bring it down.
Sparrow finds it at the top of his 18 and outlets it quickly. Beasler gets it from Hanlon, plays it out wide, far sideline to Schmidt. Back it comes to Taylor Pay. 4th minute, 0-0 here at Rio Tinto Stadium.
You know, Bill, something I think that goes unnoticed here for the Monarchs is Nick Beasler, a guy that just controls that midfield, sits right in front of the defense, doesn't score the goals, doesn't get a lot of the vision from everybody else, but he's the guy that controls the game. So watch out for him tonight, see how he controls the tempo.
Through the middle of the park, Minter. Good break up from behind by OKC. Burrill to Dixon. One back by Karinga. Halfway line wide. Schmidt plays it into space ahead. Into the box and sent back out again. OKC controls in their 3rd. Across the halfway line they come. Craven wide. Moberg in front. Craven stepping through, edge of the 18. Finally lays it off. Nobody there. And the Monarchs win it back again. Somebody needed to make a run there for Craven. They all just kind of stood and watched him do his thing.
When the Energy picked up the ball in their defensive half, only 2 flooded forward and really gave Craven no option going forward, leaving him really on his own.
Karinga just shy of midfield. Plays it back, and Moberg's got it. He'll roll it across to Taylor Pay, the local boy. 6th minute, 0-0. Hernandez. Clips it ahead, nobody there. Minter giving chase. Cleared up the far sideline by Oklahoma City.
Here early on, it really looks like the Energy are going to let the Monarchs control the tempo and just try to counterattack, as you're seeing an opportunity here.
Here's Dixon into the 18, plays it across, but nobody in blue there. Great individual effort by Dixon, but he didn't have any runners with him. Highland. And back to James Moberg it comes, and the Monarchs control.
Now, Landon, the question is, can they absorb that pressure and be smart about when to go forward, who to throw forward, and can that last for 90 minutes?
Aggressive challenge by Harris on the far sideline. Minter takes a spill. He left his feet. Harris undercut him just a tad, and that's going to be a foul on Oklahoma City, and we'll see if our first booking of the night comes here against Harris. Michael Harris was at full speed. And Chase Minter left his feet. That was a bad combination. Minter's okay. Harris gets a lecture, no card shown.
Smart for the referee to keep the card in his pocket in a situation like that. Tough challenge, and not the challenge you want to see in a game like this. But at this point, you've got to keep the cards in your pocket to be able to keep control.
Beasler ahead. Minter trying to get on the end of it, does. In the box, lays it back. Shot and a goal! A rocket from Hanlon! And in the 8th minute, the Monarchs grab an early lead, 1-0. It all began with the ball from Beasler and a beautiful read from Minter to play it back, and Hanlon didn't miss.
Beautiful ball there from Nick Beasler. That curling ball finds Chase Minter with a perfectly timed run. What a ball laid back to Carson Hanlon, who side foots it into the far post. Very similar to Ian Harkes at DC United yesterday with a fantastic strike. Good for them to get on the board early.
Hanlon with his 2nd goal of the season. He was calm, cool, and collective there to put that one away.
Just a beautiful run, and it couldn't have been set up any better. He ran right onto it, put on a platter, and Hanlon doesn't miss. 1-0 Monarchs as we enter minute number 9, out of bounds far sideline. Salt Lake to throw in.
Can't ask for a better start than that if you're the Monarchs tonight.
And I'm not really sure that Lorendi could have done a whole lot with that ball. Just well struck. Foul against the Monarchs. Free kick, Oklahoma City. Quick restart. Long ball ahead. Craven again, only man up top, and ushered out of bounds nicely by Moberg. Throwing deep in the Monarchs' end, coming for Oklahoma City.
Another RSL first-teamer, Justin Smith, getting more time down with the Monarchs. A little bit of a rehab assignment, kind of a fitness game. Look for him to be very, very involved here tonight.
Been 11 or so days since Oklahoma City was on the pitch. Their last trip up to Vancouver, a 2-2 draw. Here's a header wide, and out it goes for a goal kick. Not a bad look, just couldn't get it on frame.
Sometimes that 11 days is a blessing. Sometimes it's a curse. In a situation like this tonight, from what we've seen so far, it might have been kind of a curse. They're coming out pretty slow. Been on a 5-game road trip, essentially a 4-game USL road trip with 1 game in Open Cup action.
They played 7 games in the month of June. They had a busy month of June, and they kind of flattened out just a bit. They had a terrific month of May. They went 4-1 in the month of May. Their only loss was at Phoenix early in May, but 4 straight wins before leveling out just a bit in the month of June.
And it never gets any easier when you're on the road either.
They'll be back home this weekend. They'll have Tulsa there this weekend, then Pachuca in a matchup against a Liga MX squad. Moberg trying to clear. Good pressure. Well done there by Baril. But Moberg wins it and clears it up the near sideline. Out of bounds it goes. Throw in Oklahoma City. The man on the bench down below for OKC is a name very familiar to MLS fans and fans of soccer in this city. Former Kansas City keeper Jimmy Nielsen.
He's also the longest standing USL coach in the Western Conference right now in his 4th year.
I had forgotten Nielsen basically retired after denying Real Salt Lake the cup back in 2013.
That was his last game, then took over for the Energy right after that.
Halfway line. Wallace in back, makes the switch far sideline to Harris. 11th minute, 1-0 Monarchs. On the goal by Hanlon. Hey, soccer fans, make sure you tune into USL's weekly show on the SiriusXM FC channel, Channel 85. It's Monday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern for the latest news information on everything going on around the league. And don't forget the SiriusXM FC will air the USL Game of the Week. Find that by going to uslsoccer.com for dates and times. Bill Riley, Taryn Meyer, Landon Southwick coming to you from Rio Tinto Stadium tonight. Monarchs trying to get back to their winning ways and continue their lead in the West. Here's a ball up the near sideline. Andrew Brody running onto it. He's got Highland in front. Good cross by Brody. A little bit of a late run by Haber. Couldn't get on the end of it.
And that's where Andrew Brody is so good out wide, just running at the back line of teams and whipping those balls in. And that one just misses Daniel Haber. Look for that all night. Landon, you touched on that. Look for 90 minutes of that.
Karingo down below, plays it back to Moberg. Big switch, flag up. And a free kick coming. Clearly that assistant referee wasn't at the StubHub Center last night when Ashley Cole got behind the Real Salt Lake defense.
Where's the VAR in that situation?
Didn't really matter in the end, but it did to Nick Raimondo because that was a goal he didn't think should have counted, and he's probably right. Dixon tracking back, gathers it back in for Oklahoma City. Out wide, far sideline for Harris. Minter closes the space there. Long ball forward, not a chance in the world anybody was going to get on the end of that one. Out for a goal kick for the Monarchs.
Through 13 minutes, you're really not seeing a lot of cohesion in the midfield from the Energy. It looks like a strange gap and a void there. And I don't know if it's just the defense of the Monarchs sitting in and playing in their positions correctly, but OKC's midfield has just disappeared so far.
It looks like a lot of hopeful balls forward, just in the hopes that the forwards can latch onto the end of them, Dixon and Craven, but it just doesn't seem to be working thus far through the first quarter of an hour.
Good tracking back again. Haber doing his job, turns it and runs toward goal. Haber centrally for Hernandez. Nothing there, backs it out. Jose dances and plays it wide now. Justin Schmidt pressured, plays it back, and Taylor Pay finds it. Walks it back across midfield. Slotted ahead, flag up. Minter a step off, and a good save by the keeper, Lorendi.
But a good idea there from the Monarchs. Taylor Pay taking a nice touch in between the defenders, created some space for himself, and found Minter in that situation. You're seeing there, Minter just a touch too early on his run.
I like that Minter's trying to get in early, though. It's better than not being able to get on the end of those balls. Test the back line of this Oklahoma City defense because, like you said, they're flat. Really try and time those runs, and with Minter's speed, that shouldn't be a problem.
High and long the other way, out of bounds. Touch last by the Monarchs. (12-2-1) coming in tonight, Mark Briggs' side. And we've said it before and we'll say it again. Mike Petke set the table. Mark Briggs and this staff have just taken it and run with it this year. Petke was the coach throughout all the preseason and the very early parts of this USL regular season. Then when Jeff Cassar was fired by Real Salt Lake, Mike Petke was promoted. Quite a throw on the far sideline by Harris. Acrobatic and accurate at the same time. And a free kick coming here for Oklahoma City. I mean,
not really a throw-in you typically see at the professional level. I think the last time I saw that may or may not have been in the high school game.
Well, even from that position on the field, normally you see it in the attacking third and you see it as essentially a long corner, but that was out of their own defensive third.
They got a lot of height and depth on it.
Height being the key word.
Exactly.
Straight up.
Free kick coming OKC. 30 yards out. To the left of the keeper. Line drive in, sent out easily by Beasler into the sun, and that will be a throw-in for Oklahoma City.
Craven's complaining to the center referee, looking for the contact. He was down on his knees. Didn't look like there was much, and the ball didn't even have a chance of making it to him.
See what Harris does with this throw. Probably a bit more traditional from this angle. Toward the 6, whistle behind the play.
That throw-in is such a dangerous, it's a set piece. Really, you watch where that ball bounces, it hits the top of the 6, and if the referee didn't stop play there, that's a free-for-all. That's a tough ball for a goalkeeper to come for. Connor Sparrow really having to decide whether or not he should come and claim that ball or really call his defenders off.
Harris will set it up and give it a go again. Big throw from the far sideline here in minute 17. There's the trick throw again toward the top of the 6. Knotted down and away by Karinga. Chased down here on the near sideline and kept in by Oklahoma City. Sent back out again. Haber's got it. Now the touch eludes the Monarchs. Somebody lost a shin guard.
Hanlon.
Dixon now. Wide for Harris. Gonzalez with a touch, gives it back to Harris, gets it back again. Tried to slot that into Craven, not a chance. Moberg read it well.
There's no wonder he lost his shin guards. His socks are only up an inch.
Here's a long ball ahead, and Haber had to have been 5 yards offside.
Oh, there we go.
When he made that run.
Up.
18th minute, 1-0 Monarchs. And a foul going against Salt Lake. Burrill. Top of the box, sent out by Pay. Oklahoma City now finally getting some bodies forward. They're just not much with that final pass. Here's a long ball up the near sideline, way too overhit for Brody to get on the end of, and out of bounds it goes.
That's the right idea. Execution just not there. You see Andrew Brody pointing into space where he wants the ball, and Minter just can't play that ball where he needs it.
Lorendi out of the back. Up the near sideline. Tried to find Highland, won by the Monarchs. Brody tripped up and taken down. Bond didn't like the call. It was the right call.
Bond recently acquired by the Energy on June 1st. Hasn't been with the team super long, but is a guy that's been in the USL, so many players or fans might recognize him with St. Louis and a few other teams in the past few seasons.
Schmidt halfway. Centrally for Beasler. Knocks it out wide and the flag up.
It's one of those situations where it's kind of inexcusable to be called offside in a situation like that. You're the guy facing the whole defensive line, and you're standing in offside
Well, you're
position.
looking down the line at the entire defense.
But I'll forgive him.
Highland will take the free kick out of the back for Oklahoma City. Energy 5-6-3 coming in here tonight. Here's Hernandez. Haber trying to time that run. Jose didn't see him. OKC takes it back. Guzman. Long ball far side. Harris into the middle. Dixon couldn't get on the end.
Again, it's just a hopeful ball. It's a great switch. I'll give the switch, but that ball played back across by Harris, he really doesn't have anywhere to go with it, and it's hopeful.
Well, soccer fans, Nike's an official sponsor of the USL. Like more information on what Nike does with the USL and anything else Nike Soccer related, go to NikeSoccer.com. That's NikeSoccer.com. 21st minute, Rio Tinto Stadium, Wednesday night, USL Soccer. Big slate of games tonight in Major League Soccer as well. We'll update scores as we go through the night here. 1-0 Monarchs. Karsten Hanlon goal. Got him on the board.
I think Hanlon's done well since he's broke into the starting 11. I thought his game against Phoenix was fantastic. Him going up against Sean Wright Phillips, I thought was an excellent matchup in the middle of the park when Wright Phillips would drift into the center, and he took a few knocks. He took a few hard knocks in the heat, but I think he has been solid for the last several games.
Far sideline Monarchs play it back. There's a look at Mike Petke out watching tonight, probably right next door to where we are right now. Got kids with him.
Hope you weren't reading his lips, though, when he saw himself on screen.
He's a colorful Long Islander, Mike Petke.
It's in you.
You always know where you stand, though. That's the one thing. He doesn't mince words with the media or his players.
No, I think that's one of the wonderful things about a guy like him, especially in this season. You're seeing him speak truth, and when he says it, he means it, like you're saying.
Well, it's an adjustment for some players, but I think as a player, you always want a coach to be honest and straightforward. I don't care what level you're playing at, high school, JV, college, or pros. You want somebody to be a straight shooter, and that's one thing Petke's been from day one since he's been here. He's not pulled any punches.
I mean, it's funny. I'm looking down into the crowd, seeing my college coach down there, and he was a guy that said it like it was. And I would appreciate it even if it was a situation where it wasn't the kindest of words.
OKC's got it back again. They leave it for Dixon. He can't find it. Pay plays it back. Sparrow off his line. Finally plays it back ahead to Beasler. Tell you what, there's a lot of standing around right now for this Oklahoma City team. Those balls in the final third, you've got about one guy working for it, and everybody else just kind of standing around watching right now.
It's so easy to start watching the ball and really just get lulled to sleep, and the Monarchs are not a team you want to do that against. I mean, maybe it's conserving energy, maybe it's tactical, I don't know, but even there's no pressure even at midfield. You see how many players are walking, one player committing to the ball, and really there's a disconnect defensively as well.
All right, the Monarchs right now leading 1-0. You know, it's a testament to what we were talking about before, the improved play this year. You could make a case, arguably, their three best offensive players aren't even on the field right now. When you talk about Adams, Hoffman, and Velasquez, they're not even out there. Velasquez will be a halftime guest, not in uniform. Adams hurt himself. He's kind of getting himself back in form. And Hoffman's in the 18 tonight, but there's no guarantee he'll play. So it says a lot, and it's a testament to the depth and development of this team that your top three offensive weapons are not on the field, and you're still dominating here tonight.
You've even got a few defenders that are out on the field that are that are on the bench tonight that are phenomenal. Lakawecki and Gallagher both have been having great seasons for the Monarchs as well.
Late challenge and a foul against OKC. Free kick for Beasler just across midfield, 25th minute. Plays it ahead. Haber can't control. OKC wins it back. Burrill across midfield. Beasler in front. Nick harassing. Burrill plays it. There's Craven trying to get a turn. Great slide tackle there by Moberg. Back out to Harris. Oklahoma City really not able to create any real possession or length of passes in the final third. But here they come, and a pass behind Dixon.
Excellent step there from Pay and Moberg. Justin Schmidt carrying the line there to pull Oklahoma City offsides as the referee lets him play on.
Sparrow picks it up with Dixon in the area. Now he'll wave everybody forward.
You got to wonder if the missing in midfield is due to the suspension of Miguel Gonzalez and the injury of Philip Rasmussen. Both of them are missing tonight, and that really has changed the flow. The midfield looks absent, like I've mentioned, for most of this game.
Here comes Harris. Running past Minter. Dixon. Again, the pass is there, the run is not, and it goes out of bounds and a throw-in for the Monarchs. 26th minute, 1-0.
Landon, you talk about the injury to Rasmussen. Looks like he'll be out the rest of the year with a torn ACL. He kind of stepped funny on the turf up in Vancouver. Obviously a big blow to a player who's played 12 games and got himself a goal and has really been provider for this Oklahoma City team. It's a big loss for them.
You hate to see injuries like that.
Here's Hernandez dancing around. Guzman wins it back. Guzman ahead. There's Craven. Finally some space. Plays it in front. Dixon. A shot off the crossbar. And then he heads it in. What an individual effort by Dixon. Alex Dixon got a pretty ball from Craven. And he fired it. It took a deflection off of Sparrow's hand, off the crossbar. But Dixon didn't give up on it. And he levels the match here, the 27th minute, 1-1.
Well done there from Craven to pick his head up and see Dixon darting across the front of Moberg, not staying really in his back pocket. Moberg doesn't step to him, and Connor Sparrow makes the big first save up off the crossbar here. Nothing he can do as Moberg slips and nobody recovers. Really against the run of play, but they'll take it.
Well, yeah, and you know what happened that time? There were actually two guys making runs. It wasn't just the one. Dixon followed the run of Craven, then stayed with that ball. Not Moberg's best sequence right there. We'll see if James can bounce back, but we enter the 27th, tied at 1.
Dixon's third goal of the season, or fourth goal of the season, excuse me, but give him credit for getting in front of Moberg and staying in front of that situation, because that ball was coming, and Moberg was in a bad situation to defend that.
Ball in back, now played across the field, and a big switch taken down by Minter. Little give and go, a little bit too much, and cleared out by OKC. It'll go out and back, and Schmidt will keep it in.
Another thing that you may have noticed is Sparrow came screaming out, yelling at Karinga. I think he felt like Karinga should have sucked in and should have been there when the rebound came in.
And he's absolutely right. Sparrow is spot on. Karinga, again, just watching the ball. I shouldn't say again. We talked about Oklahoma City really watching the ball, and it's so easy to get lulled to sleep there.
1-1, 28th minute. Taylor Pay. No pressure. Take a couple of touches. Play it ahead to Schmidt.
If you're Jimmy Nielsen, you got to be super pleased with the way that sequence happened. We talk about how they've been sitting in, waiting for that counter-attack opportunity, and it came, and they were able to capitalize.
Yeah, I don't think you're super happy with the way your team's played for most of this first half, but soccer a fickle game at times, and all you need is one good sequence to make up for maybe a bad half. Here's Brody.
In some cases, an entirely bad 90 minutes.
Exactly right.
And you get one right there at the end.
Here's Beasler. Back out. And back far sideline. Minter. Cutting it inside. Knocks it ahead. Here's Hernandez. Hernandez slots it wide for Brody. Takes a touch, plays it in. Loose in front through the 6. Oh, goodness. That was a well-struck ball by Brody. Haber couldn't get on the end of it.
Haber was right there just in front of it, just unable to get it.
That near post run is so dangerous, especially when that ball is played low. That ball can take any deflection it wants. It's very lucky that it skipped all the way through. But like you said, Haber just a few inches away, but that run is in.
All the way back to Moberg, who rolls it across to his keeper, Sparrow. We've played a half hour of soccer here at Rio Tinto Stadium. Home side 1, OKC. The Energy also 1. Both these teams will be back in action on the weekend. Monarchs will be right here at home on Saturday night. OKC plays against the Roughnecks in Oklahoma City.
I think it'll be a welcome game for Oklahoma City fans, players, and staff alike.
They won't remember what that building looks like. Goodness gracious. 5 straight road games. Here's a ball into the box. Overhit just a bit, looking for Brody, and out for a throw.
And a Tulsa team that's very good, a Tulsa team that just beat the Monarchs 2-0.
And ended the streak. The unbeaten streak came to an end in Tulsa.
There's still a streak here at home, 8-game winning streak, still one of the longest in USL history.
7-0 at home this year. Brody with a touch, cleared by Highland. Nice ball. Minter. Good step by Harris to break it up. Gonzalez far side. Good pressure there. Schmidt wins it. Justin goes around his man, picks up his head, drives one into the box, sent out again. Beasler tracks it down for the Monarchs. They'll reset. There's a giveaway. Dixon gets on the end of it.
That's the second touch Chase Minter's let get away from him. First on the turn, then missing that ball completely. I think maybe he's thinking a little bit too far ahead.
Ball too far for Craven. All the way back to Sparrow. Taylor Pay walks it up the pitch. Plays it back centrally for the captain, Nick Beasler. Karinga tries to touch it ahead to Brody. Good give and go game there. Karinga tripped up and taken down. And that'll be a foul on Burrill. Karinga saying that's not once, that's twice. And so Burrill will get one more stern talking to here.
And I'm surprised not to see him go in the book just for the sole fact that it was a tackle from behind in a situation like that. Clips him, counterattacks kind of on, maybe not as much from behind as I get a second look at it.
And it was a little bit more from the side. And I do think he was trying to stick his foot in to get the ball, but the ball was already gone, so he got more of Karinga than he got of anything else. Either way, it's a free kick coming here for the Monarchs in minute 33. Hanlon will stand over it. He's the goal scorer tonight for Salt Lake.
Look for your big guys. Taylor Pay on the back post. James Moberg hanging out in the offside position now. As that back line collapses when Hanlon hits that ball, watch for the runs.
Hanlon drives it in, but right to the keeper who reads it, comes off his line to grab it. He'll outlet up that far sideline now.
Good read there from Lorendi. Not the ball I think Hanlon wanted to put in. Too near the goalkeeper. Nonetheless, Lorendi does well to collect and off the Energy go.
After that goal, you've seen a little bit more confidence by the Energy. You've seen a little bit of moving more, connecting a little bit more with the passing. Their distribution in the midfield has been a lot better since that goal they scored.
Anthony Wallace. Back centrally now for Guzman. Cuts it inside. Touch gets away from Dixon. He tracks it down. Plays it back to Andrews. He'll make the switch up the near sideline. Karinga getting there. Highland keeps it in. Well done. Kyle Highland playing it back to Wallace. Now a little three-man game. Long ball forward by Bond, far side. Good bit of possession here for Oklahoma City. Gonzalez. Kept in. Burrill playing it wide. Good ball for Harris. Craven making a run. Ball pops up. Took a touch and out for a corner kick. The last sliver of sunshine here at Rio Tinto Stadium in the northeast corner. And that's where this corner kick will go down.
Families down here on this near sideline getting a super soaker full of water to try and cool off from Leo the Lion here. much welcome.
Bond goes out to take it. Driven ball, near post, and into the top of the netting and out for a goal kick.
You got to give your team a chance. Those are the corners you hate to have as a defender. You come all the way up, run from midfield up into the box, only to jog right back.
I'm just not quite sure what he was trying to accomplish with that kick. .36th, 1-1. Monarchs on the board first tonight. Karsten Hanlon with a goal. Alex Dixon leveled. 10 minutes later, flag up. Offside, Monarchs. Harris gives it away. Hanlon gives it right back.
Very uncharacteristic of the Monarchs here the last 10 minutes or so. Not really connecting at midfield into the final third and giving up chances defensively.
Here comes Pay. Now Beasler. Tell you what, both Schmidt and Karinga are really playing wide and up those sidelines. Beasler's almost playing like a center back and 3 in the back right now.
I think it's kind of what the energy are giving the Monarchs, and the Monarchs are trying to take that.
Hanlon. Beasler. Brody going to go after it and win it back again. Karinga. Back to Hanlon. Out wide again it goes to Minter. Overlap from Schmidt. Hernandez, touch gets away from him. Harris gathers it in. Sends it back up the line. Cheeky play there by Craven. Dixon making a run. Moberg on his back. Dixon needs somebody with him. Gonzalez gets in the attack. Dixon plays it across. Nobody gets on the end. They track it down.
That's better from Karinga to step in and not allow the energy to step in front of him and just to see that ball wide, shepherd the ball wide.
Brody gives it up. Hernandez. Now Haber. Back to Brody.
This is where you miss a guy like Chandler Hoffman. You can see Brody and Haber kind of coexisting on the side together without a guy like Hoffman making a run. Seems a little lackluster from the attack.
Also where you miss a guy like Sebastian Velasquez who can just create something out of nothing. Here's a ball in, headed wide. Pretty nicely done there. Haber just couldn't get it on frame. Out it goes for a goal kick.
And for the Monarchs right now, they've kind of played this entire half in a midfield triangle with Beasler and Hanlon kind of sharing the 5 and 6 spot with Jose Hernandez playing in front of him. When Sebastian Velasquez is in there, it's a constant rotation, whether it's Nick Beasler, Velasquez, whoever's in the midfield with him, Charlie Adams. It's a constant rotation, and it just seems to be more solid, if you will, tonight.
Over the head of Moberg, over the head of Craven. Monarchs take it. A love tap from behind there and a foul on OKC. 39th minute, 1-1. Coming up at halftime, we'll have a little break, then a conversation with the aforementioned Sebastian Velasquez, who's having a terrific year as he's returned to Salt Lake City with the Monarchs. Former member of Real Salt Lake, NYC FC, and now back in Salt Lake City again.
No stranger to Oklahoma City either, playing with Rio, now defunct Rio. But nonetheless, the fans are very happy to have him back on the Wasatch Front.
Ball clipped in. Minter, top of the box, turns but fires wide.
And a good look there but the better opportunity might have been to lay it off to Haber, as you're going to see Haber there on his right side, just in a position that he could have maybe slotted it home.
Haber making that secondary run, asking for the ball, and as soon as Minter hits it, asking why he didn't receive it.
All Minter had to do was play a ball similar to what he played earlier in the match to Hanlon.
Absolutely.
And then you have Haber running onto it and having a crack at it. 41st, still 1-1. Knotted down and out by Schmidt. OKC to throw in far sideline. We'll see what.
Flip throw coming.
Yeah, we'll see what Harris is doing here.
They're lining up like that is.
Here it is. This one more of a line drive look. Well done again. He's darn accurate with that throw.
He can sling it. That is impressive.
It's not something you see very often now, though. The female
I'm like Taryn. I don't think I've seen it since high school.
No, we had a kid on our high school team that did it, but that's honestly, I think that's the last time I ever saw it.
Might be something you'd see in like the Colombian 2nd Division. Somebody might do that down there. All about the art and flair. Here's Harris with a cross in, back post. Highland trying to get on the end of it. Nods it high and into the stands. Highland not real big, but he got up on that one. Just couldn't get it down on frame.
Good ball there in from Harris to the back post. Monarchs defenders kind of losing him on the back post as he sneaks in there and just can't get a solid header on it.
Guzman was there kind of free as well. Need to be a little stronger on their marking in the box, giving the Energy a few more opportunities than they probably deserve if you look at the possession or the flow of the game so far. But Energy doing a great job of capitalizing on those simple opportunities they've had.
Moberg near sideline as we get a little later here. First half, USL Wednesday night soccer between the best team in the USL, Real Monarchs, the OKC Energy. Brody and Highland battle. OKC comes away with it. Highland still down in front of his own bench. Ball still in play, and finally the referee blows it dead. I didn't see a whole lot there. Maybe an awkward fall by Highland. Right in front of his bench. Referees, fourth official, trainers. Good excuse for a water break right now.
You see as Brody turns the corner and tries to go. The only thing I can see is almost like his head.
Yeah, maybe his head smacked on the turf or his neck whipped on the turf when he went down. But besides that, there wasn't much there.
Which, of course, the referee has to stop for any sort of head injury in any way, shape, or form. And so, nice work there from Radchuk.
But with it being 96 degrees, I'm sure many of the guys that was
we're grateful. Even though halftime's moments away, they were quite grateful for a swig of water right there. Highland taking one for the team.
Well, if you can survive Phoenix this time of year like most of the Monarchs did, then 96, I bet, feels welcome.
Just be grateful you're not playing out east with the humidity added upon it.
Well, Oklahoma City, plenty humid. Kansas City, Swope Park, plenty humid. Lots of humidity. St. Louis, plenty humid this time of year. You'll get triple digits plus the humidity. That's the one thing here in the Intermountain West we're lucky we don't have much of. All the way back it comes to the Monarchs keeper. That's Sparrow. 44th minute, 1-1. Play has slowed a bit here as the half has gone along.
It was a very active first 15 minutes, and I think you're spot on with that. I think it's almost like they've tried to figure, the teams have tried to figure each other out for the last 30 minutes. Nothing really, no real miraculous chances for either side.
Except for the goal.
Yeah, of course, except for the goal, the equalizer. Thank you.
I had to point it out. It's the reason we're knotted up at 1.
Here's Haber. Taking it down, 2 defenders there. Tries to slide it centrally for Hernandez. Out of bounds it goes. Throw in for the Monarchs as we enter the 45th now. Big switch far side. Schmidt takes it down, pressured there, kicked away from him and out of bounds, and another Monarchs throw in. All the way back, Andrews plays it back to his keeper, who clears toward the center circle. 1 minute of stoppage time is what the fourth official tells us we'll have here tonight. Minter, wide for Schmidt. Hanlon tried to play that in. Hernandez had it bounce around, then catch him in the arm. That'll be a handball.
Not entirely sure he knew a lot about it. Playing pinball with himself.
Free kick OKC as we get to the dying seconds. Lorendi puts it back in play.
Good battle there by Pay.
Whistle in the mouth, whistle blows, and our referee tells us 45 minutes of soccer have been played here in the first half at Rio Tinto Stadium. Karsten Hanlon got the first, and then Alex Dixon got the equalizer later in the half, and that's where we stand here at halftime, 1-1. Quick thought from each one of you guys.
Fairly entertaining half. Really, the first 15 minutes dominated by the Monarchs. They seemed to be going full bore. Kind of let up in the final 30 minutes of that half and really gave up a goal, and it shows that it kind of slowed down with that pace.
And I will echo that. I think Oklahoma City did well to put the Monarchs on their heels and create chances. Like you did correct me, they did get a goal, but since then it kind of mellowed out. The game kind of mellowed out, and I think both teams kind of walking into the tunnel here for halftime a bit tired, searching for some answers.
97 degrees at kick, still hot here. We'll see what the second 45 minutes holds ahead. 1-1 here at the half. We'll take a short timeout. And former RSL man and current Monarchs man, Sebastian Velasquez, he'll join us at halftime next. Stay with us.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh.
It only takes a moment to make a moment.
Cheers.
Take time to be a dad today.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. At work or at play, you're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Oh, hey, she's cute. Nice going, man. Things are going great for you. You've earned a night out. Good drinks, good friends. Yeah, we can go ahead and call this a good night. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Not smart. Yeah, I saw that coming. Say goodbye to her. Ouch, that'll hurt your bank account. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. I hope you like eating frozen dinners. Alone. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent.
We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
Raise the stakes. Expectations are high. Our biggest season yet will break records with elite players and future stars. innovative technology, and new homes. We're growing the game in our communities and across the nation. Are you ready?
We're back here at the half with RSL and Real Monarch midfielder Sebastian Velasquez hanging out with us in the booth. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me. I'm glad to be out here.
1-1 game here at halftime between the Energy and the Real Monarchs. Sebastian, let's talk a little bit about the season you're having. 6 goals and 6 assists for Sebastian Velasquez. His best season, your best season of your career so far.
No, it's exciting, man. A lot of great things are happening for me this year. It seems like not only that, our team's doing very well, which is very important for me. My goal was to come here and do my job, which was to be a playmaker. I've gotten to play as a 10, which is my best position, and to be able to do that, it's been exciting.
Talk about the camaraderie on the team. Everything looks so much better from years prior. I hear there's a little bit of a card game you guys play. Does that credit to that, both on the field and off the field?
Well, the card game obviously is something that we do all the time when we're going on flights, when we're about to be waiting for games and stuff. So it gives us a little bit of competition before things. But at the same time, these guys love to be around each other. And one thing in general for me personally is that I know I've been here. I've been different places. I've gotten to play a couple years in the first division, and they come here and they respect me for what I've done. But I don't treat them like they're younger or they're rookies or whatever the fact. I'm another player on the team, and we have that same vibe, and I think that's why we all respect each other and we like to be around each other.
I think you're seeing a sore subject there. Sebastian talked about how he maybe lost $20 the last time it happened. So we won't go too much into the card game, right?
I think it's gone up to 40 now. So
in trouble with the card game. Sebastian, talk to us a little bit about your history here in Salt Lake. Obviously, RSL fans remember you coming out of the junior college, out on the East Coast, coming in as this young, rat-tailed Rufio, hanging out, just that young guy, and now you've grown into a mature veteran. You're a guy on the field that players look to for that experience, and you've done a phenomenal job with that.
No, I think it's like anything in life. Like, we go through these time periods. You come here to Salt Lake. I didn't know much to be what it was like to be a professional. I thought it was just be on the field, play on weekends on TV, and then it was it. But there's a lot of details to the game. There's a lot of details as a professional, and I think I've gotten the opportunity to see both sides of the game. I mean, obviously, I was here for a couple years. A couple things went bad, but I was able to turn my life around, being able to get my head back on my shoulders. I have a son now, which is very important to me, and it's actually the reason why I came back to Salt Lake was to be in his life. And like I've always said, to play professional football is obviously my dream, but to be a great father and also play professional soccer, I don't think I can ask for anything more.
There's nothing better than that.
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing better than that.
Switching gears a little bit, I've always been curious about your time spent with David Villa. I know I always talk about it here on the broadcast about ever since you've played with him and kind of been an understudy to him, you've matured as a player, and people have seen that. I'm curious to know about your relationship and how that relationship translated into your game.
To be honest, I feel like he polished a lot of my game on the field, and also to see a guy. I'm going to speak a little bit just about him.
Okay.
This guy is making millions of dollars to come here to the United States as a public figure, as a great football player, but this is the guy that walks in first into the locker room and is the last person to leave. And to see that and to know he's already won everything that he's done as a professional and still want more, it's self-explanatory as why he's gotten to where he has. And so with me, I would see this every day, day in and day out, and I was like, this is an opportunity for me to see one of the best players to ever play the game do what he does every day, come in and out. He never takes a day off, and I wanted to do that, and it became contagious. And to see how he took me under his wing, we would hang out. He would take me to dinner. We would go. I met his family. I would even we would take care of his kids, and it was incredible. I was actually a part of his family for a bit of time, and we still talk today, which is so funny. Like, we always talk before games. He's always telling me how I'm doing. I obviously know how he's doing, and it's incredible. I'm actually blessed to have been able to play under this guy for a bit.
Isn't it amazing to see that sort of leadership, what that does for a squad? Do you feel like you've tried your best to emulate that here in Salt Lake City?
Definitely. I think that's key. That's what I came here to do, is to see if I can apply the things that he taught me, will guys look at me different? Will guys respect me more? Will guys be contagious to that and do the same thing for their own careers? And if they do that, our team's going to be much better. And I think it's shown on the Real Monarchs. I mean, I've heard so many things about the team not doing well the last couple of years, but now everyone's at another level. And I've always told coaches, like, this is a young MLS team. Like, I've actually gotten calls from different guys and stuff, and I'm like, you guys should be excited about this team.
Good. Real Monarchs midfielder Sebastian Velasquez joining us in the booth. Sebastian, let's talk a little bit about this game, what you've seen tonight. Obviously, you're not out there. Charlie Adams, Chandler Hoffman, the kind of attacking core of the Monarchs, where a lot of the goals and services come this season, not out there, but still 1-1 through 45 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a tough game, but I feel like we had a couple opportunities in the first half. I think there's a lot of space to play out there. We have to take a little more advantage of our opportunities, because we're giving this team a little chance to stay in the game, gain some confidence, and that's when I feel like we complicate ourselves. But if we can stick to the plan, stick to what Coach Briggs says, I think we're going to be fine. Obviously, I'm not out there, but we have players that can come in and do the job, and I think that's what we're trying to do.
So what would be the typical conversation between Briggs and the players in a situation like this? You guys enter the locker room. What is Briggs saying in this moment?
I can't cuss on here, so let me just say that. Let me just say I can't cuss on here. So.
Hey, don't throw Briggs under the bus.
Easy now.
No, He'll
watch this later and come after you.
No, I love it, because he's the type of guy that will tell he'll tell us to our face, and he'll yell at us at halftime. It doesn't matter if we're even winning 1-0. Sometimes he'll get onto us, because he knows the potential we have. He knows at the level we can play, and he wants us to play our best game every single game. So right now, for this team to be even in the game right now, I know he's going to be upset, but if we can come out, give a response, and that's what's incredible. It goes from 0 to 100 really quick. So he'll get into us. Guys are going to come out flying. We'll get a couple goals, and then at the end of the game, he puts a smile on his face. I always tell him after our meetings, I'm like, will you just smile after we win? You just smile.
Give us a smile.
Just give us a smile.
It's so funny that you talk about coaches that are straight shooters. We actually had a comment here in the first half about we had college coaches who were straight shooters, or at least Landon did. Me, not so much. But we talked about Mike Pecky doing it, and now you say Mark Briggs does it. How important is that for a growing team, especially a team with young talent mixed with experience?
That's the thing. When you're in these environments, when you're at a professional environment, you don't want these young guys to get comfortable. You always want them to have more. You always want them to want to be the best on the field. You want them to want a MLS contract. You want them to put these guys that are on the first team under pressure. And so that's what I like about him. We always have meetings, and as one of the captains, he brings me in, and he's like, the only problem with this team with Real Monarchs is that if we get comfortable, we're not gonna do well. And if we don't get comfortable and we want more, this team will be very good. And so I think it's come to show that we just broke a record. We haven't gotten comfortable. Obviously, we lost last game, but I think that loss is gonna put us in a position where we're gonna be even better towards the end of the season.
So Seba, here late, midway through the season, what should we expect the rest of the way from the Monarchs?
I think we get obviously a little times break, so we need to take advantage of that, get fit, get even fitter, be ready for this long stretch that's about to come. Now, Coach has already pointed out to me personally what the goals are, and there's 51 points in the air, and he wants more than 45. So, which I think is perfect. We should be able to do it, but we have to obviously keep our head on our shoulders. We have to work for it, and I feel like if we can keep doing that, we're going to be fine.
There's always seems to be an air of never settle. Like, you guys broke the record, and you guys were great. Everybody thought because of the way that Reno game ended up here before you broke the record, it was kind of, you guys all thought Mark was going to come in and get mad at you guys, but he came in and was loose. But it's not settled. You guys don't have hardware yet, and I think the USL is such a long league. What's the key to consistency for that?
I think it's all about what you do at training every day. I mean, if you get lazy at training or you let little details get away, because we have a very strict locker room code. Like, you can't use cell phones. There's a lot of things you can't do. And that obviously into my game, I love the cell phone. I'm not even gonna.
We know. You want to give your Twitter a shout out, Instagram?
No, it's okay. It's okay. But things like that makes a big difference. They're very small details, but things like that make a big difference, because if you can discipline it, we can get these guys to be disciplined for this amount of time. In the long run, it's gonna be worth it. And at the end of the day, the very first day, I sat down and I said, guys, we need to have a meeting between ourselves, not even the coaches. What do we want? And everyone said the same thing. We want a championship. We want hardware. And that's legitimately what we want. We all want. And to do that, there's going to be a lot of sacrifice. There's going to be a lot of hard work. There's going to be ups and downs. But as long as we're together and we're a great team off and on the field, we're going to be fine.
Does it help to have guys like Taylor Pay, Chandler Hoffman, that have both won MLS Cups, that have trophies, that have felt that winning environment?
Yeah, no, it's great to have these guys, to have guys that know what it is to win, and they tell us about what it feels like to win. I mean, I'm still waiting for my hardware. Obviously, what's crazy, I ran into Jimmy Nielsen in the locker room.
We were talking about that earlier.
And I was like, this is so crazy. I was like, 4 years after, I have to, and I was like, why don't you just jump to the other side? Like, why my side? And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm still hungry.
So what you're telling us is you want to go down and take a PK against him right now, settled score.
I wish, but I have a hurt hamstring, so I'd probably like rip this thing across.
No, I don't think Mark would like that very much.
No,
we're not going to let you.
Nah, it's all good. But yeah, I think we have a good chance. We have a good chance to do it. We're at the top of the league, but like I said, we want everything. We want to break. Yep, and so.
You know, Sebastian Velasquez, thank you for joining us in the booth. Appreciate you spending the time with us, bringing your son here up in the booth to join us, Armani, correct?
Yeah, correct. That's Armani.
Having a good time with us. We'll get back down, enjoy the second half, and get back on the field.
Oh, thanks for having me, man. You guys have a great day. Thanks. Awesome. Awesome. Really scared me when you jumped up, and I totally forgot about it.
Ball coming across the... Energy. Defended by Brody Schmidt there. Bond. Defended by Brody will be a throw-in. Chandler Hoffman now in as a sub for the Monarchs here to start the second half.
What a sub to have come on. In the running for the Golden Boot with 8 goals this year. A halftime substitution coming on. Looking for his 40th goal in the USL. Look for him to really be aggressive in this game. We always talk about the space that he creates and the goals that he scores, and he seems to just love Rio Tinto Stadium.
Be a foul and a free kick for the Energy.
47th minute, 1-1. See what the halftime adjustments are here tonight for both sides. Jimmy Nielsen looks like he's ready for a day at the beach. He was set for the 97 degrees here today. Got the board shorts and tennis shoes on. Mark Briggs going with the slacks and polo here this evening. Free kick for OKC. If you're just joining us, the Monarchs got on the board first. Hanlon scoring early, and then Dixon equalized about midway through the first half. Big bodies forward for Oklahoma City. Ball played in near the spot and headed back out again. Rill tracks it at the halfway line. Pressure coming, cuts it back inside. Slides it across to Bond at the edge of the center circle. High and long, and the flag up as Wallace in an offside position.
bright start here for Oklahoma City, trying to get in early, winning a free kick just moments ago, really trying to push the tempo. Now, the key for the Monarchs is, can they start to dictate the tempo or continue to dictate the tempo? Excuse me.
Watch your mouth, young man. We did mention the halftime substitution. Harris out and Dixon in. So we have not just Alex Dixon on the pitch now. We've got Richard Dixon out there as well for Oklahoma City. And a foul to be whistled on the Monarchs. And Craven coming up a little gimpy now, holding that right hip. 49th minute, 1-1. Captain Nick Beasler continuing to plead his case to our referee tonight, Michael Radchik. Mark Briggs watches on from the edge of his coaching box. Into the top of the area, sent back out. OKC. Heel flick back. Guzman. Back out wide to Bond. 5 minutes gone by. OKC's possession's been better. They haven't done a whole lot with it yet, but their possession's been markedly better than we saw in the first half. Played wide here near sideline. Gonzalez. Lazy pass and a giveaway. Andrew Brody checks it down. Runs it backward for the Monarchs. Plays it all the way back to Sparrow. Clears it out.
It looks like Andrew Brody and Daniel Haber have switched sides from the first half. Brody back on this near side, playing on the left. Haber on the far side, playing on the right.
And another foul whistled on Nick Beasler, and he's equally as apoplectic this time around about the whistle.
Wow, got us the thesaurus up here, just going
Look
to town.
that up with your BYU Hawaii education, Southwick.
Uh-oh. So you'll notice, actually, Brody's sitting in the middle of the pitch, kind of as the creative number 10. Minter shifted out wide. Haber's now out wide as well, replacing Hernandez.
Up the near sideline, Minter playing it centrally. Schmidt making a nice run. Keeper comes out top of the box. Look at Schmidt getting forward.
If he would have kept running, he might have got on the end of it. He kind of
or he might have run squarely over the keeper and gotten a card. Here's Craven cut down by Pay, and that's going to be a free kick at the edge of the area for Oklahoma City.
And a dangerous spot for a foul.
Taylor Pay pleading his case. I don't think there's really anything he could do about it. He went in for the tackle and really tried to adjust, but in my opinion, I think Craven just ran into him and kind of toppled over, leaving the referee with no choice, and a very, very dangerous free kick. As we look at it again, he goes in, and Craven does well to draw the foul, puts his body in, and creates a dangerous opportunity.
So it'll go down just outside the 18. We'll call it 20 yards away. Highland and Bond taking a look at it right now as Sparrow sets his wall. 6 men in the wall for the Monarchs. Guzman posts up in front of his man. Highland has a go and got no bend on that ball whatsoever. He drove it, but he drove it well wide of frame. And a goal kick coming here for Sparrow and the Monarchs.
Kind of wondering if he tried to hit it with a little bit of bend and caught it just straight clean on the toe.
Looks like he tried to wrap his foot around it, but instead just drove right through it, creating that.
In all fairness, the ball boy was unmarked behind the goal.
Except he didn't have his gloves on, didn't make the save.
Perhaps he thought he would play that ball back across for him. 53rd minute, here come the Monarchs. Good driven ball, but right down the middle of the park, and Haber couldn't quite get on the end of it.
Give Lorendi credit
make it
there.
Hoffman.
Hoffman making a good run, and that's where Hoffman scores goals. Lorendi came off his line. Hoffman might have been a little too late on the ball there, but Lorendi came off his line very nicely.
We'll give Chandler a little break. He's still 7 minutes in. Get those legs warmed up with a couple of runs. See if he gets on the end of another one. Here's Dixon heading one back to his keeper. 54th and 1-1 here at Rio Tinto Stadium. Bill Riley, Taryn Meyer, and the aforementioned BYU Hawaii grad, the Islander, or is it the Seasider? What was it?
The Seasider.
It wasn't the Islanders?
No.
Okay, the Seasider, Landon Southwick.
A shirtless Polynesian just paddling away. I don't know if it's to honor code standards, but...
Yeah, can you be? He better not have had a beard or a mustache and shirtless.
No chance.
Could cause some real trouble with the honor code office.
Mustache is okay. No beards, though.
Just sounds like Moana to me.
Couldn't look like Lorendi down there.
Not without a card. Special dispensation. Well, that ball was mishit by Schmidt, but if you're going to mishit it, that's the place to do it. See if the Monarchs can play some pressure in. And Dixon tried to take advantage. You'll have to walk that back about 12 yards.
No flip throw.
Not from him. That was Harris's thing.
I know.
I think that the flip throw might have taken it out of him. Gave him a good 45, but he needed to sit down. Up the line, Dixon held in by Schmidt. Karinga all the way back to his keeper, Sparrow. Sparrow up the near sideline. You know, we made comment in the first half that Oklahoma City had kind of run out of thoughts and things in that final third. To be very honest, the Monarchs haven't, as we've seen in many matches this year, they haven't created a lot in that final third here tonight either.
And one thing I was going to mention in that first half, Jose Hernandez really needed to find himself more on the ball. He looked like he disappeared for a lot of time and really wasn't getting the touches that he needed to be effective.
Well, that's really, to me, the difference. And there's our first booking of the night. Bond will go in the book for the harsh challenge. Take a look at it right here.
Very stiff challenge on Nick Beasler there. Coming in very, very late. The ball's away.
Stepped on his foot.
That never feels good.
Give us a different look. Same result. Beasler going to walk that off for just a minute. But that to me is really the difference between Jose Hernandez and Sebastian Velasquez. Velasquez on the ball, making things happen big time. Didn't see so much of it in the first 45 from Jose tonight. Schmidt back to his right. Kicks it off the shins of the defender. Gets it back again. Punch toward the corner. Minter there. Dixon comes out to meet him. Well done there by the OKC defender. Energy have come out with just that here in the second half. The Oklahoma City Energy playing well here. Over the head of Craven, and all the way back it gets to the Monarchs keeper. Switch to relieve the pressure. Moberg walks it ahead. Into the sun, Karinga, top of the box. Ooh, goodness. Haber got that boot up.
Again,
and
referee
drilled Andrews right in the face. Training staff will come out to take a look at this one. That was nasty, and Andrews is waving him out right now, and I think Haber's going to go in here.
I don't think Haber really knew much about it, just going for the ball.
He is.
And that's a low-driven ball. He has every right to go for it with his foot.
And he's pleading that exact case.
And so is Mark Briggs.
Well, let's take a look at the replay and see how high this foot came up to meet Andrews, the defender for Oklahoma City.
That's a very fine line. I think Andrews stuck his head in there, and it just so happens that Haber stuck his foot up. And is it yellow card worthy? No. Just have to make sure Andrews is okay, because that can result in some serious injury there.
Well, he's still down, and the training staff tending to him right now. He's sitting up. There's no blood, no cut from the boot to the forehead, but he may be seeing stars right about now. Jimmy Nielsen walking up to have a conversation right now with the fourth official.
And I'm sure exactly what you're hearing from Jimmy Nielsen down there is it's a dangerous play. Anytime a boot gets that high, the studs in today's world, they cut skin pretty easily. I was a guy that got kicked in the face twice in college. Doesn't feel good.
Being a keeper, it does not feel good at all.
And you want the protection as a defender. And so you would expect a situation like that, especially with the head and all the awareness right now in American soccer with head injuries.
Andrews appears to be okay. The Oklahoma City trainer will make that trot off the pitch with both the water bottles and the medical kit. We'll get back to soccer here. OKC Energy FC won, and the Real Monarchs won here at Rio Tinto Stadium. All the way back, and he finds his fellow keeper, Sparrow, outlets wide to Moberg. Karinga picks up his head, no pressure. He'll take another touch and then play it back to Moberg.
Looks like he was about to play that diagonal ball over here to Chase Minter on this near side. That's a ball more commonly when Charlie Adams or Sebastian Velasquez is on the field. That diagonal ball for the Monarchs is always on.
Good pressure here by OKC to really hold that ball deep in the Monarchs' end right now.
And the Monarchs are really not giving many outlets. You can see essentially two lines, the defensive and the midfielders meshing with the forwards there.
Sent ahead. There's Haber, who was booked in a moment ago. Trying to play that centrally to Hoffman. Ball takes a deflection. In back. They'll play it back. And Lorendi clears and out of bounds. Hey, fans, make sure you tune in to USL's weekly show on Sirius XM FC. That's Channel 85. That's Monday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, for the latest news and information from around the league. Also, don't forget the Sirius XM FC will air the USL Game of the Week. Check USLsoccer.com for dates and times. Minter playing it back to Pay. Hour in here. 30 minutes and change to play. Will somebody get the breakthrough goal? Minter, 35 yards out, fires just wide. Oh, he had Lorendi a little out of position that time. I thought it was ambitious when he pulled the trigger, but didn't miss by much.
And the way he was moving that ball was always going to bend away from goal. As we look at it here, puts his right foot through it, and that spin on the ball, always taking it away from Lorendi. Nonetheless, always good to test a goalkeeper, get a chance on goal, towards goal, I should say.
On or towards, around and in the general area. Flicked on. Dixon giving chase. He's got the lone goal tonight for Oklahoma City. But Sparrow gets there first.
English lesson by Bill Riley tonight. Class is in session.
Well, I've got to monitor guys like you, Southwick.
But I'm not saying aloha or anything like that.
With your island education.
There's a few of us out and about. Neil Everett, SportsCenter host. Might see some of his intros.
I thought he went to Oregon.
He did, but he lived on the island.
Well, yeah, he
for
worked in the
years.
islands. Exactly.
He's got that
Let's
island.
not confuse the education here. Sparrow taking his time here in the 62nd minute. Good read near sideline here by Gonzalez. Brody chasing it around. Haber gets it back from Hoffman. Numbers in the box now. And out it goes. That'll be a corner kick.
That's the right idea from Haber to try to play that ball early. Excuse me. Energy FC defense doing well to concede the corner.
Minter puts it down, far side corner. 63rd minute. And you can see the big bodies forward right now. Pay posting up right near the spot. Lofted ball bending the wrong way that time. And Energy FC with a chance to counter here. And it's kicked out of bounds. Brill Thought he'd play that forward, and it bent out of bounds on him. Throw in quickly by the Monarchs. Minter takes a spill behind the play after a collision with Dixon. Ball wide. In toward the spot, sent high but not out. Wallace clears. Beasler plays it back, and Pay tracks it down.
Monarchs applying a little more pressure here in the attacking third. See if they can get creative and open up some channels.
Throwing more guys forward. 6 on this last attack, not counting the outside backs, and Justin Schmidt and Kyle Karinga getting forward. Looking for the go-ahead goal here.
Richard Dixon has not been shy since coming into this match here in the second half. Hanlon found that out a moment ago. Minter, giveaway, Craven has it. Give and go, here's numbers, 3v4. Good diagonal ball running onto it. Heel flick through. Gonzalez, wide of the area. Burrill, back to Gonzalez. Right-footed service, in front, Craven couldn't get on it. And well defended there by the Monarchs. And another head-to-head collision in back.
That's a great ball played in. Craven unlucky not to time his header. As we see it again here. Good ball. So you see Connor Sparrow come to claim that. That's so hard to come for a ball that's below the crossbar, let alone bending away from you. And Craven just mistimes it, and
Karinga takes a spill.
Karinga sees the brunt of it.
Yeah, he does. Monarchs trainer Marshall Stoddard just making sure Karinga's okay.
Quick
look in my eyes. Make sure those bad boys aren't dilated. What is today?
How many fingers?
Make sure he doesn't believe he's a superhero of any kind, and then you go back and get him back in play.
Well, Spider-Man is premiering this week, I think.
65th now. Still 1-1. Mark Briggs giving instructions down below. Karsten Hanlon. Moberg gets it back. Taylor Pay.
This is when you need to see some creativity in the midfield. I think Brody is sitting a little too high and not allowing for the Monarchs to open up space for Chandler Hoffman. Chandler Hoffman's all alone, but is encroached in his space by Brody because he's sitting too high.
And Nick Beasler, if you look where Nick Beasler is in possession in the defensive third, he's split the center backs. The center backs go really, really wide, thus creating even a bigger gap in the midfield, like you were saying, Landon.
Big switch, far side to near. Dixon gets a melon to it, knocks it out of bounds. Throw in for the Monarchs. Minter takes it quickly. Gets it back from Brody. Plays it back now to Justin Schmidt. Left-footed, bending ball in, header back out. Off his line, a good sliding play, and finally cleared awkwardly but effectively by Oklahoma City. Energy FC trying to make a counter out of it. Heel flick back, looked good, result wasn't so much. Moberg has it for the Monarchs.
A good idea there on the heel flick, but just didn't get to the precise location.
Karinga wide. Trying to slot it through to Brody. Good step by Wallace. Craven turns it the other way. Burrill center circle. He needs Gonzalez to make that overlapping run. Gonzalez on a bit of a jog instead of a sprint here. Cuts it back inside. And a good slide play by Schmidt to knock it out for a corner.
Looks like Schmidt kind of got turned around a little bit. kind of got his feet squared up, and that through ball caught him off guard. The only thing he could do, he's lucky to get a toe to that and concede a corner.
Energy FC with a chance at a set-piece opportunity here. Chad Bond puts it down near side corner. 68th minute. Driven out toward the top of the box, and Moberg heads it away. Tracked down, played back to Highland at the halfway line. Switch to the near sideline, taken down by Bond. Back centrally now, Wallace. Trying to get to that left, has a drive. Big save by Sparrow. Wallace had it measured well. Sparrow equal to the task. It's out for a corner kick.
It even took a deflection on the way in. Sparrow, very well done to keep his feet moving to the left and get his body and his hands behind that ball as we see it here. Wallace cracks the shot, takes a small deflection right before it hits the ground in front of him. Great save there from Connor Sparrow.
So it won't be Bond this time around. Burrill will take it instead. 69th minute, Burrill drives it in. Top of the 6, picked out of the air by Sparrow. Good read by the Monarchs keeper. Roll it ahead to his captain, Nick Beasler. A lot of green in front of Nick right now.
Not a lot of white.
Nobody stopping the ball, and Beasler just plays it back out wide for Karinga. All the way back to Moberg now. 70th minute, 1-1.
White was in that situation, but it was running everybody away from him.
Everybody seemed to have hopped on the horse and gone their separate ways, leaving nothing for Beasler to find. Now as the Monarchs flood forward.
Here's Beasler. Brother Matt having a nice season again this year in Kansas City. Top of the box. Ball played in front. Shot to goal. It's a goal for the Monarchs.
And there's number 40 for Chandler Hoffman. Well deserved.
You knew a guy like that with time and space, if a ball found it in his area, he would knock it home, and he put that one beautifully in. But that all starts with the beautiful touch out wide. Sets things up, and the cross comes in perfectly.
A terrific cross in, and Hoffman from that distance doesn't miss. Mark Briggs and Homicide Olave having a discussion down below, and Chandler Hoffman puts the Monarchs in front here in the 71st minute.
What a very difficult ball to not only control, but to put on frame and tuck away past the goalkeeper as that ball comes across his body, and he times it with his left foot to go back into the near post. Just a striker's finish. What a clinical finish there from Chandler Hoffman. Well done.
Energy FC making a substitution here. It will be Daniel Jackson checking in with fresh legs. A good night and a solid shift by Alex Dixon, who has the goal tonight, but they need some fresh legs and energy on the field for Energy FC, and they'll bring in Daniel Jackson right here.
Chandler Hoffman now with 9 goals this season, and like you mentioned, Darren, 40 goals in his USL career.
So the Monarchs with a goal lead here, trying to make it an 8-0 home record this season. And trying to make it 10 straight overall. Ball comes back to Sparrow. 72nd minute.
You know, with Daniel Jackson coming on for Oklahoma City, they are going to throw numbers forward, as you see Craven Jackson and Burrill on the far side kind of creeping forward, applying a bit of pressure, trying to guide the Monarchs to one side. Watch them flood forward and maybe try and keep a little bit more possession.
Craven went down, pulled that landing gear up just a tad too easy there, and the referee waved him back up and played on. Tough touch there by Hanlon. Good step by Schmidt. Jackson nearly got his first touch coming in on goal. 73rd minute, 2-1 Monarchs.
The interesting thing about Jackson, he was drafted by Real Salt Lake in the 2014 MLS Super Draft.
Minter offside. Flag up on that far sideline. He can wave his finger all he wants. He was offside.
Seems like there's quite a few of those guys that were drafted by Real Salt Lake and never really made it here before the Monarchs were around. You're starting to see some of that happen here with Schmidt, Dunk on the bench. Guys having opportunities to stay with the organization even though they're not getting minutes with the first team.
You see somebody like Enzo Martinez really finding his feet in the USL, really playing well at the moment, scoring goals, getting assists. Just to echo your point, Landon.
Certainly would have been a player that would have benefited from having the Monarchs here a few years ago.
And one could argue a guy like Sebastian Velasquez could have been a guy that could have had that opportunity to benefit from it as well.
Behind the defense, Haber playing it back to Karinga. Top of the box, Minter, Hoffman taken down. That's going to be a penalty. He's got to point at the spot here. It's got to be a penalty. Will it be a penalty? We haven't seen him yet.
Has to be.
It's a straight red.
He knew that was coming.
It's a red card. Energy FC will be down a man for the final 15 and change, and a penalty kick coming.
Down a center back as well. Andrews with a fairly solid game. As we look at it here again. Good entry ball in there from Karinga. What a touch. Daft little touch. I would argue that touch is outside the box. Tough one there for the referee to call, nonetheless.
What I think really put him in that situation, though, is it looked like the ball was being played to Hoffman, but it was just behind him to Minter. Hoffman made that nice turn and really burned his defender there.
We always talk about creating space, and Karinga with that entry ball, and it's the second player that receives the ball, and Hoffman always just seems to know where to be, and Minter knows where to play it, and his teammates know where to play him the ball. And
well, credit Chandler Hoffman for selling that well, because there was a slight tug, but once he fell forward into the box, he pulled that landing gear up. I think if there is any kind of video review on a play like that, that's probably, as you said, Taryn, a foul right on the edge of the area and not a penalty.
And maybe a lot would argue that that's where the video assistant referee comes into play, and that's the big argument is possible game-changing decisions for referees from players. It doesn't.
Well,
it doesn't
anytime
matter.
there's a goal-scoring situation
Absolutely.
and a penalty situation in this sport, it's got, if you have that technology, that's where you've got to use it. But we don't tonight, and that's what we'll have: a penalty coming and a chance for a brace here for Chandler Hoffman. Referee making sure everybody's outside the area here in the 76th minute. Lorendi on his line. Hoffman ready, just awaiting the signal of the referee. And here we go. 3-1 Monarchs. Hoffman makes it 2. It's a brace tonight. 10 on the season. And that might be a dagger goal here tonight, putting you up 2 with under 15 minutes to play.
Well taken PK there by Chandler Hoffman. Stepped up with composure. It took a little while to get up and get everybody set as the ref was trying to keep everybody out of the area, but he kept his cool, slotted it home, and got the brace.
Mark Briggs looking like a bit of a maestro, bringing his leading goal scorer now at 10 goals on the year at halftime, and comes on and snags 2 goals and earns himself a few accolades along the way.
Well, soccer fans, just want to remind you that Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. That's right. For more information on anything Nike Soccer, simply go to their website, NikeSoccer.com. Going to get a defensive-minded substitution coming here momentarily for the Monarchs. Max Lakawecki is going to be in momentarily, getting final instructions for the coaching staff downstairs. Mickey Daly is checked in the match now for Energy FC. And the night is done for Gonzalez. Daniel Gonzalez out here in the 78th minute.
Chandler Hoffman now in 3rd place in the USL in the scoring charts, only trailing Williams and Kelly with 14 and 13 respectively.
High and long up the near sideline. Minter getting on the end of it. Pops it over the defender in front. Minter stays with it. I think he thought that Hanlon was going to take that. He did not. Miscommunication.
I think Hanlon wanted him to have it.
Jackson up the near sideline, and he's taken down by Schmidt. And that will be a foul on Justin Schmidt.
And I think that's going to be the end of Schmidt's night. Maybe with that foul, Lakawecki's up. Almost ready to check in.
Free kick along the near sideline. And we will get that substitution, but it will not be Schmidt. Lakawecki will check in.
Haber.
And Haber's night is done. Up 2 goals, pull off an offensive player, put in an extra defender to help shut some things down, and Haber's put in a good shift tonight. Done a lot of running tonight. He'll get a break here in minute 79.
It'll be interesting to see where he slots in, maybe pushing someone up, maybe Karinga.
Look for Karinga to slide in more central. Maybe Lakawecki goes out wide, kind of a 3 center back pairing, and leave your right back out on his own. But yes, very good shift there from Daniel Haber.
Burrill to take the free kick along the near sideline. Drives it in through the 6, and oh goodness. Kicked out by Schmidt, and it goes out for another throw, and that was a well-driven ball. Nobody got on the end of it for OKC. Burrill, Jackson out with him. Touch got away, and now a giveaway. Burrill wins it back. That's going to be a foul on Hanlon.
That's a good call there. Hanlon knew what he was doing by shifting his body.
Quickly back in play, quickly sent in, and right back out again. Another corner kick coming here for Oklahoma City. (3-1) Monarchs, 80th minute, Rio Tinto Stadium. Bill Riley, Darren Meyer, Landon Southwick with you here this evening as the home side tries to get back to their winning ways and put 3 more up in the Western Conference standings.
Put a little bit more breathing room between them and San Antonio atop the league and Western Conference standing.
Yeah, we were saying it in the last broadcast a week or so ago. As hot as the Monarchs have been, San Antonio is just right on their heels. You would think with the winning streak they had and all the positive results, they'd have a bigger lead. But San Antonio, I think, coming in tonight was 4 points behind. Is that right? 2 points behind. So 3 points will be much needed and much taken here by Mark Briggs if he can get them. 10 minutes and change to play, up 2 goals.
The Monarchs were a little lucky in the last 2 games of San Antonio. Both draws and a loss and a draw for the Monarchs. So really kept it closer than it probably should be.
And there's a takedown on the Monarchs.
Bit of an extravagant tumble.
And Richard Dixon gets a bit of his own medicine. He extracted a little bit of that when he first came in the match. Not a whole lot there. Beasler wide. Karinga. And that's going to be a challenge, and we're going to see a yellow here on Hanlon. '82nd minute, another booking.
No argument in a situation like that.
And another trot out onto the field for the Oklahoma City training staff.
There's been some tough challenges fly in this game. Yeah, nothing Hanlon can do about that. Poorly timed. Catching the ankle.
'82nd heading into the 83rd here. We'll have a little bit of stoppage time added on with the goal, the cards, and the injuries we've had here in the second half.
Still temperature scorching down there in the 90s still here at Rio Tinto Stadium. hoping for a little relief, but none coming. This is when teams on the road at Rio Tinto struggle. They come in high altitude, lots of heat, and a Monarchs team that applies a lot of pressure.
Chase Minter, Andrew Brody looking on.
One thing I've noticed tonight for the Monarchs, Bill, the attacking midfielder position really has become that vital position when we've seen other players besides Sebastian Velasquez like Brody or Jose Hernandez. If they're not getting the touches, the Monarchs really aren't seeing creative soccer. It really does open it up for the wings, and that's where a lot of the attack from the Monarchs come. But that midfield, central midfield attacking player is important.
Bond into the mixer. Daly gets on the end of it, but they can't get it on frame, and out again it goes for a goal kick. Sparrow will tee it up and put it back in play as he ushers everybody forward here.
Captain Jack really hasn't been called much into service tonight. 3 clean sheets on the season, but he's done a good job tonight of controlling the game. Hasn't, like I said, been called much into action, though.
No, if you're a coach and your keeper has to make no saves in the game, you're totally happy with it. If you have your keeper make one big save and it's a game changer, or I should say whether it's a game changer or not, that's always very important. That's what you want from a goalkeeper, and Connor Sparrow has really been an anchor back there. Him and Lalo Fernandez, of course, sharing time, but I think Connor Sparrow has really solidified himself as that anchor inside the 18-yard box.
I don't know if it's the result, if it's the altitude, the heat, but a lot is catching up with Energy FC here in the final moments of this match. Wallace trying to deal with some things out there right now. In the 85th minute, 3-1 Monarchs over Energy FC.
Sometimes a long break, like I mentioned earlier on in the game, isn't a great thing. 11 days is a long time to not be in a game situation. Hopefully they were getting that type of environment with head coach Jimmy Nelson, a guy that knows the game. But that's a tough situation. Come back and play a team like the Monarchs. They're going to apply a lot of high pressure.
I was having a conversation earlier with a few people about Real Salt Lake's, the first team's result at StubHub Center in the Galaxy yesterday, a 6-2 win. Now they don't play for another 2 weeks. Can they maintain a 6-2 showing going up to Portland here in 2 weeks? That's always tough.
Back in play we go. Brody's got it below. Ahead, Lakawecki. Max can't get on the end of it. Bond. Burrill relieves the pressure, plays it back out to Highland. Plays it back to Daly. 86th, high and long, and out of bounds it goes. A throw in for the Monarchs.
Lakawecki getting a few minutes in a little bit of a different situation. Obviously, he's an outside back that plays very high, but playing here in the mid position up on the wing.
Ball thrown right to Dixon, taken right back again by Schmidt. He mishits it. Pay has it measured, knocks it wide. Throw in OKC. 87th minute, 3-1 Monarchs. Bond. Wide for Jackson. Jackson with 2 defenders on him. Lakawecki slips. Jackson tries to play across, and Max there to meet it. Highland with the big throw. Not as acrobatic, but equally as effective. Loose in front. And was that Bond who got a touch to that? It was. Just couldn't get it on frame. Goal kick.
Cravens was sitting there back, just waiting just beyond that. If that would have taken a slight touch, he may have found himself wide open and free with a chance on goal.
Sparrow to put it back in play. As we enter the 88th here at Rio Tinto Stadium. 3-1 Monarchs. Out of bounds it goes. They're going to whistle a foul on Highland getting into the back there of Minter.
We want to talk about breaks for teams. The Monarchs don't play again 2 weeks. They get a bit of a rest. Look for them to get healthy, get everybody back into training, everybody possibly back on the field. Get Mark Briggs' first choice starting 11 back rolling to see if they can maintain some more consistency.
Lakawecki stays with it, plays it off the back heel of Andrew Brody. Brody clatters into Dixon. Dixon keeps it alive, and Brody tracks it down. Back to Schmidt. Pay. Good pressure from Burrill. Pay relieves it to Beasler. Halfway line, Hanlon. Plays it out wide, Karinga. A lot of space in front for Karinga.
So far in 2017, I think the Monarchs have done a very good job at controlling the end of games, albeit the last home game against Reno, not so much. But I think they do a good job of really dictating the pace towards the end of the game, wear teams out and get the result that they want.
OKC across midfield. Craven, who's done a lot of running by himself up top tonight, can't get to it. Ball comes back to Sparrow. 89th minute.
Going back to that cross there from Minter, Hoffman did something that I really love forwards when they do it. He kind of trailed away from the defenders, held up just beyond the PK spot, and put himself in a situation where he scored a goal earlier.
May get another substitute in here if we have a dead ball for the Monarchs. Michael Gallagher set the check in. Pace switches near side to far. Moberg knocks it ahead to Karinga. OKC takes it back. Wallace has it. Back to his keeper, Lorendi. Back to Schmidt, 90th minute now. Knocks it up the near sideline, trying to find Brody. Mickey Daly finds it first, kicks it off of Brody out of bounds. Throw in for Energy FC after this substitution. And Andrew Brody, who always puts in a hearty shift. 90 full here tonight, will come out of the match. Michael Gallagher will sub in for the final moments and stoppage time.
Always puts in that hearty shift, but we still need to get him on the hearty Campbell soup diet. Get him some meat on his bones.
What are you saying about skinny guys there, Landon?
What do I look overweight up here? Come on.
No.
I'm defending my own kind.
In back, Moberg. I have 4 minutes of stoppage time here at Rio Tinto Stadium. Monarchs just content to play a little keep away here and kill the clock up 2 goals. Beasler. Inside, Gallagher. Outside it comes to Schmidt. Daly, can he keep it in? They say he does.
Well done from Daly to step. I think if he doesn't step to win that ball, either Lakawecki or Hoffman is in on goal.
Back it comes to Sparrow. Into our second of 4 added. High and long, over the top it comes. Played centrally, Hoffman! Good read by Lorendi. Chandler tried to get himself a hat trick.
He wants that one back.
Lorendi with a bit of luck that Hoffman didn't get a full touch on that ball to pop it over him. As we see it here again, Hanlon, cheeky little ball in, just bounces in front of him. Lorendi waiting with grateful arms.
Maybe about 90 seconds to play here. Here's Lakawecki. Hoffman winning that, getting it back again. Hanlon looking to make a run. Nothing there. Back it comes. Center circle, Gallagher, near side, and over the head of Max. Out of bounds it goes.
It's tough to come in a game late and be able to hit balls after you've sat on the bench for 70-plus minutes.
Beasler. Back out to Karinga.
Monarchs doing a good job just to see this game out, walk away with the full 3 points on a 2-week break.
Back to Sparrow. High and long, ahead looking for Minter, and out of bounds it goes. Somewhere in the neighborhood of 45 seconds to play in this match. It's all on that man in the middle. Radchuk. Pay heads it high into the center circle. And a ticky-tack foul against the Monarchs with just seconds remaining. Referee checking his watch. Whistle in the mouth. There it is. 90 minutes of soccer have been played here in Salt Lake City. And the home side, Real Monarchs, win it 3-1, keep their record perfect on the season as they move to 8-0 this year, and they've now won 10 straight here, dating back to last year at Rio Tinto Stadium. A terrific win tonight, and that man, it's not often your man of the match comes on with just 45 minutes under his belt, but tonight it will be Chandler Hoffman. 2 goals tonight. He gets a brace, and really the difference maker in the second 45 minutes.
And he was what was really lacking there in the first half. You really didn't see him at the start doing, or the Monarchs doing much up top without him in. But when he came in, he created that instant difference with a point forward, and he had an eye for goal.
Now, really, and we'll take a look at these goals here. There's the first one. That was the first goal of the night. A beautiful layoff, Minter to Hanlon, and that got the Monarchs on the board first tonight.
Fantastic finish.
And then here comes that second goal of the night. The build-up, the cross, and then the finish.
That ball is so hard to judge coming across the body, and it bounces, and he just side foots that so gently past Lorendi. Well-deserved for his 40th goal.
And then, of course,
the controversial 41st.
The penalty kick, but still. It still counts nonetheless, and the Monarchs get 3 points. They're now 5 points clear of San Antonio in the West. And again, a good result, all things considered here tonight. Not having Sebastian Velasquez, still not having Adams in the lineup, and only getting 45 minutes here tonight from Chandler Hoffman. To win 3-1 against a solid Energy FC team was a good result.
And one of the things that they needed to do, get back to winning ways. They fell on the road at Tulsa 2-0, had a draw before that, so they really needed to get back, finding the back of the net, and get that good feeling going again.
You know, it's funny when we talk about getting back to winning ways after only not winning 2 games, and now you're back in the win column. It has to feel good if you're not only a Monarchs fan, but a player and a coach as well.
First place for the Monarchs as they win it here tonight, 3-1. Thank you to our entire crew. For Taryn and Landon, I'm Bill Riley saying so long and good night from Salt Lake City.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent from the United Soccer League.